Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. This is the Sunday Night Cop. I am Gav. That's Emma. That is Keith. Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2 from Anfield today. Keith's last words before we come on here was, "Can we make this a short one?" Emma wanted to do a watch along.
He's gone.
No, he's okay. Emma wanted to do a watch along of Married at First Sight instead of talking about this game, and I said no. When things are good, we love talking. When things are bad, it's good to talk. Relax, lads. Relax. There's no excuses before anyone fucking starts. Let's just talk about it. Let's see where we go, and let's see how it ends up. And we'll be finished here at, it's 6 minutes past 10. I reckon we'll be finished by about 18 minutes past 10, okay? And we'll see how we get on there. Listen, Keith, I'm going to come to you first. It's a defeat for Liverpool. It's 4 defeats in a row. It's 3 defeats. It's 3 defeats in a row in the league. It's 4 defeats in a row in total, if you include the one against Galatasaray. A game for me where I thought we were wasteful and naive. From the beginning, in certain circumstances, we're in the game. And I don't think we deserve to lose the game. I thought we were good in patches. But I'm going to bring it to the start, Keith. I think he picks the wrong team. And I can back that up by bringing you back to the show we done Friday night, where we previewed it and I had a different team completely. And I'm going to put it out there straight off. I think he's panicking.
Yeah, I'm listening to a lot of Pink Floyd at the moment, right, Gav, and just rating the albums from, best to worst, and thinking of what bands out there are like the modern day Pink Floyd and what sort of music I can get into, because, I've neglected music for the last while and I've focused on other things, other areas in my life, and I just like to get back towards music and listening to some bands. So I like Somber at the moment. Somber's very good, has a lot of good bangers, a lot of good hits. But I'm really finding myself falling back into all the old stuff, all the heavy rock stuff, Led Zeppelin, all that sort of. Metallica as well. I'm finding a new sort of awakening from Metallica. So yeah, I'm finding that I'm in a bit of a dark place with the music, because I just don't know what to be listening to. Sorry, what was the question there? I wasn't listening. Look, I'm joking. Right.
We're going to be here till 25 past 10 now.
Chris Hodney asked, do you rate the strokes?
I think I had a stroke today after that fucking match, Chris. But yeah, the strokes are quite good. Now, look, I agree with you, Gav. Wrong team was picked, in my opinion. I also agree that I think we were the better team on the day, but Manchester United came and basically done us over, and we gave them every helping hand we could along the way. So, I think it's let them enjoy their day, let them enjoy their win. But I think Liverpool have a lot of soul searching to do, like me with the music. Arne Slot has to dig deep now and try and refocus this group and get them back playing, because there's a lot of angry, spoiled people in the fan base. And look, I don't mean that as a dig at people and making out that I'm not, what I mean, one of these. But as a fan base, we've been spoiled for a long time, where we're used to winning, we're used to beating Manchester United, we're used to seeing players go in and play swashbuckling football, and at the moment we're not seeing it. And it's really, really, really difficult watching Liverpool at the moment, because I think the easy thing is to blame the likes of Kirkes, who I was watching that thing, where they find out their genes, where they came from. It turns out he's Alberto Moreno's son in the skies. So it's easy to dig out Milos Kerkez. It's easy to dig out Alexander Isak. It's easy to dig out Florian Wirtz. But the reality is, it's a lot of our older lads that aren't doing the business. And I harp on about it all the time. But, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk to an extent, and, other senior players in that team are not doing the business at the moment. And that's killing us. Because when we signed Darwin Núñez, I always defended Núñez, and I always felt that he came into a team that was breaking up. We had Fabinho falling off a cliff, we had Henderson on the way out, we had Thiago injured and that, and he was trying to come in to a team that wasn't quite right. And I find the new players now are sort of coming into a team that are dealing with the Jota thing. We keep mentioning that, and rightly so. But they're dealing with a team where, some of the senior players aren't quite at the races as well. So it's a really difficult time for Liverpool. But I think something Slot has to do is he has to just work his way through it. He has to be more ruthless than he is. And he has to just start putting his faith in in some of these players. Florian Wirtz, for example, I think he's playing very well. He just needs a goal or an assist. He's creating chances all over the place that are being missed, easy chances that are being missed. And if they start going in and he racks up a few assists, the noise isn't that loud around him. But because he's missing, or because the players are missing the chances he's creating for them, it looks like he's not involved. I think he's playing well. They need to back him and they need to put him in there. He's £120 million or whatever it is we paid for him. We need to start seeing him in games like Manchester United at home. And if we don't see him in games like Manchester United at home, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? We saw Isak play today. I think it was totally the wrong decision. Isak needs fitness. He needs match fitness. I get that. It should have been Ekatike playing and it should have been Isak maybe coming in for 20 at the end. So I think Slot is going through a bit of a tough time himself, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets through. I'm not in the slot out category that I see a lot of people are starting to pike their little heads up about, but it'll be interesting to see how the next few games go.
Emma, just staying at the start, we'll talk about some incidents, and if you haven't seen our post-match show, Kev and Matt were on that. I think Chris was on, but was technical difficulties with that, so Chris had to drop off. But I'd say they've covered every inch of that game. But just back to the start, and Jonathan asked me a question: what is the right team? My thing on this is that when you look at the summer, right, you're signing 2 right backs because you need to sign 2 right backs. Okay, you're signing a right back because you need to sign a right back, because Trent has left. You're signing a left back because one is going to leave, Simicast does, and Robertson has a lot of miles in the legs, and you're bringing in Kirkis, right? So I'm okay with mixing stuff around. You're signing strikers because you need to sign strikers. You're getting rid of a few. Jota, whatever, yourself there, right? I'm nearly hesitant to say his name because as soon as you say his name, people go, oh, you're bringing this up, and it's like, whatever. But the Florian Wirtz thing is actually starting to annoy me now, because you've signed the player for a particular reason, to sign a particular way. And if you remember back when people were saying, "Oh, he's signing," and it was all about he went and he spoke to Arne Slot, and Arne Slot was telling him why he wanted to bring him in, where he wanted to play him, why he wanted to do, and we've seen none of it. Let's be honest. He's put him in a couple of games. He's left him out. He's put him on the left. He's bringing him on a sub, and we haven't seen it. So when Jonathan asked the question, what is the right team? I'm sure we could have an argument about personnel and, the right back, the left, but whatever you want to argue about, Emma. But you haven't signed Florian Wirtz to play off the bench against Manchester United. You just haven't. And this is why I keep saying he's panicking. He's tried to go back to the tried and tested, as people said before, the 3 in midfield. But the 3 in midfield look like they're playing in a 4-2-3-1 system when they're not. They're so disjointed. They're not together as a unit. And I think he makes the wrong decision in personnel there today. I think he makes the wrong decision in the system. And that's why I say he's panicking, because I think the bravery to go and sign Florian Wirtz, we're playing him up beside that front man, or up off the front man. And he's gone away from it very, very quickly, Emma, and it's not worked.
No, and it won't do his confidence any good either. And hopefully he doesn't read social media and all this 007 and all that shit. But I agree with Keith. I think Florian Wirtz has been, I'm going to say he's been excellent when he's been on the pitch. He's created chances. Like this no assist thing, he has no say in whether a player scores or not. All he can do is put it on a plate, and he's put plenty of them on a plate for teams. Like Keith said, he's probably just 1 assist away. Thankfully, if you believe what you read, is he has an awful lot. He's very mentally strong. So sitting on the bench for a couple of games, I don't think should affect him too much. But Jonathan asking the question, what's our best team? I think we should be able to set up with different teams against our system or our 11 against different teams differently. I think he's gone from, and I think I said this 2 weeks ago, he's gone from not changing enough to now, I think, changing too much. Yeah. And I agree that when I saw the starting 11, the starting 11 is a good enough starting 11 to go and beat Manchester United. And but I was surprised at a couple of them. I thought that Robbo might have been brought in. I thought that Ekatike might start over over Isak, and it'll be interesting to see what's the reasoning behind this, because he's played Isak now for the last 5 in a row. I think he started. But yeah, it's like, and people are saying, oh, he has to try and play him into form. Then why are you leaving Wirtz on the bench? I think, and it's a nice problem to have if it's working. I think we've got too many main character players now that he can't fit them all into the same team, and he's struggling to come up with a way of putting them or keeping them happy. And that's one of the hardest jobs as a manager, is trying to keep all your players happy. And I think he has probably one too many. And I'm not going to say like big egos, but he has one too many superstar players, or a few too many superstar players, to be able to get them all into a team or get them playing kind of to gel, let's say. I think we're still playing like we're a team of strangers. And if you keep chopping and changing, that gel is never going to come, because the midfield is chopping and changing around. You've got the back four is chopping and changing around. The back four at times is chopping and changing in game. He hasn't played in a settled way at all this season. And I get that he's trying to give players minutes, but I just think, and not the same way as you've just said there, is that he's trying to kind of revert back to the way they were. Is that he has to pick something and stick with it for a couple of games. I think he's experimented in the wrong games. I think he experimented a little bit in the Palace game when he could have done that in the Galatasaray game. Or I know he left Salah. He just seems to have made changes at silly times. It doesn't help that we seem to be lacking a bit of intensity now. It's very difficult, and people will jump in and say Jones looked excellent when he came on. He did. But that doesn't mean, like, he's coming on against a team that are possibly a little bit tired. They're sitting back further. He's going to have a lot more space than somebody. I would love to try and play Jones, because Jones, when he came on against Arsenal, I think he changed the game. He's played excellent when he came on. He came on today, and he actually ran. When that team came out, the Manchester United team, and you've got no pace in Maguire, you've got no pace in Casemiro. Shaw can be a bit stuffed. He was fast in his day. De Ligt probably not the fastest either. It was screaming out for us to get on the ball and run at them, and we didn't do that. There seems to be a lack of intensity in our play. I think we're too slow, and then when the ball turns over, it's very hard for us to. I think we've spoken about this down through the years, where we're sitting in second gear, and then it's very hard to raise the game. It's a horrible thing to say, but every one of the 4 teams that we've played, I think, have looked like they want to win the game more than Liverpool have.
Yeah, it's fair.
No, don't get me wrong. It looks like there's no way that team Liverpool go out there and not want to win a game. But you like intensity. The passing, I have to say, from maybe 4 or 5 games. I know they were half locked and they had already won the league, but the passing has been shocking. We've retained. We don't hold on to the ball well enough. I've never seen Liverpool kick the ball out of play while trying to pass to somebody on the wing so many times this season. It's been unbelievable. Virgil did it today. Like a simple ball out to the wing. This fella can put it on Mo Salah's toe from the edge of the 18-yard box up to their 18-yard box, but he can't play a 10, 15-yard pass out to Gakpo on the wing. It's like they're not looking after the ball well enough. When you're playing against a counter-attacking team, which is basically what United were setting up to be, is you need to make sure you look after the ball, especially if you're committing as many bodies forward as we were. And it was just stupid, sloppy mistakes got them there too. Because there's no look, they got the 3 points. It's fucking hard to take, especially them. You can brush Chelsea off, you can brush Palace off, you can even brush Galatasaray off. But it's Manchester United. They've not won here in 9 years or something like that. If you cannot get up for that game and show a bit of intensity, like if we were moving the ball really quickly and it broke down, they caught us. Oh shit, we were going with intent, but they're breaking us down, or we're turning the ball over. Sloppy, slow play, and that's what's the hardest to take. You look Van Dijk. Everybody says, oh, he tried to pass. What's his name? Mbeumo onto Konate. I don't think he even saw Mbeumo there.
No,
I think he was passing Cunha onto
absolutely.
Konate. right? And then Szoboszlai, look, and I hate to do this because he's been absolutely fucking excellent, but like we won a free kick and then he kicks the ball straight at their player, trying to get him a yellow card. It goes out for a throw. He throws the ball back to a left-footed keeper on his right foot and starts putting us under pressure again. Like we were in the ascendancy. We were in the ascendancy against Chelsea. We were in the ascendancy against Crystal Palace when we got it back to 1-1, and we end up going and losing because of sloppiness in all 3 games. And I just think they need to book up their ideas. Look, I'm not going to go in too hard on them because they've an awful lot of stuff going on. But I know somebody put up there earlier on, and I know somebody else that has an online kind of an online account said that what the fuck is he doing in Dubai? Like, do you know what I mean? I think there was 7 players left in the AXA when all the boys went away on international duty. There's things called phones and laptops.
Yeah, but
they
hold on a
can
minute.
Skype.
Just on that point for a minute. Arne Slot was in Dubai during the week. So I think Virgil van Dijk might have been as well, right? I think I seen Virgil was. Listen, if we're going to lose a game and turn around and go, well, our manager was in Dubai on Wednesday.
That's
like,
bollocks.
please, will you fucking stop?
How many times have they gone on holidays?
How do let me simplify this for you. What about if he goes to the AXA every day, right? And he walks in and he opens the laptop in the AXA and he sits there and he goes through all his data and he goes through all his bits and he's phoning coaches and he's emailing and he's having video calls and he does all that. Or he's in Dubai and he opens the laptop and he does all the data and he phones his coaches and he has his video calls. It doesn't matter where he fucking is. And let's be honest, if he won the game today, no one would go, oh, well, thank God he won because he was in Dubai. He wouldn't have given a bollocks. And I'm all for criticising people. Right, but come on. How fucking far are we going here? You criticise, you continue to support, whatever, do whatever the fuck you like. I don't care. But like, let's be honest about it. We've lost a game of football today, and Arne Slot being in Dubai on Wednesday or whatever has no bearing whatsoever on it. If he was taking training of 7 players, right, that none of them probably fucking played today, right? Chiesa might have been one of them, but if he takes training of 7 players in the AXA this week and loses, are we going to go, well, what was he doing during the week? Or are we going to make any issue of it? No, none whatsoever. So that has no bearing on it. That's people just getting a little bit fucking annoyed, and that's okay. But stop with fucking, he was in Dubai during the week. It's all their whole planner is planned through an inch of his life for the whole year. We know this because they've so many games and they'll have so many days off. So what, where he was? It's not like he can't access whatever he wants wherever he is. It doesn't make a difference. There's an awful lot in there around the midfield, and there's an awful lot around, the way they're playing and the way United play and stuff like that. My only point on this is that when I watch Liverpool now, I could not believe Florian Wirtz wasn't in the team, because I looked at that United team and went, right, what do United not want? Right, they don't want someone finding space in them pockets. Casemiro definitely. Fernandes isn't the best defensively, right? So that's that. Secondly, they've a left back and 2 I would consider quite slow centre backs that don't want to step out into these areas and get caught, right? So who's going to do it? Florian Wirtz is going to do it. And we didn't play him. And then we went in with this midfield that was tried and trusted, as you would call it. And they look so just disjointed and so far away from each other. If you're going to play that 4-3-3, you have to be together. And if Szoboszlai has to go out and do that right side of the thing, fine, but the 2 lads stay together. They're so far away from each other. So, and if they're going to be so far away from each other, go and play a 4-2-3-1 and put Wirtz in there. Just put him in and play him. I couldn't get over the team lineup. I'm watching this and I'm saying to myself, like I said earlier, the certain players in positions that you had to buy and you needed to buy, fine. But Florian Wirtz is the one. And the funny thing is, when he plays, Liverpool win 5 out of 5, whether you like it or not, right? Whether you think they were lucky, it was unsustainable, he was playing well. He was actually playing well, and they won 5 out of 5. And then they pushed them left and they lost. And then they put him in. I thought he was all right away at Galatasaray. And
I thought he was excellent against Galatasaray.
Yeah, he put one on a play for Conor Bradley, and
and for Isak, put one through for Isak, and he just leading Tiddle one to the keeper.
I genuinely think the manager's panicking here, and I think he's caught between the way. If I go fully in with Florian Wirtz in a 4-2-3-1 and it doesn't work, what the fuck do I do? Because if I revert back, which he's starting to revert back now, and it's not working, there's 2 things with this team. They're made for holding on to the ball. made to hold on to the ball, right? Hold on to it, and then you do certain bursts at certain times to open teams up. Or you're made to get a good shape and then win the ball in the right position and kill teams. Because, to be fair, a couple of times today, when Liverpool broke the ball up and went, on that kind of break, they were all over, they created a good few chances. So, it just didn't feel right from the start, and it didn't feel right throughout the game. And, I was fuming when we went 1-1 and just didn't manage it, but we'll get on to them bits. But the
I
opening
think
goal...
the team needs to be built around Wirtz. I think he needs to build the team around Wirtz. And as in, this is your team, and start facing Salah out of being the main man. Because there's this, and it's not digging Salah out again, but there's this sort of thing that Salah is playing so much minutes and he's contributing nothing. And it's like there's a fear of, taking it away from Salah to give it to Wirtz. Like when you look at the game against Chelsea and he comes on at half time, does this little scoopy pirouette job and backheels it, and Salah misses an easy chance. The chances Salah is missing, how many has Wirtz put on a play from and he's missing them? I think it's a problem there. They've bought players that need to be the centrepiece of the team, and we're reverting back to, rightly by the way, a fella who we gave a new contract to, who was in the argument as our greatest ever player, but is not performing. And I think we need to take that pressure off Mo Salah. Because when typically against United, Luke Shaw will play left centre back and he'd be there and he'd be at Salah, double up with whoever's playing as the wing back, and they double up on Salah and they get a lot of joy out of him because teams can double up and that's it. If you're doing that with Wirtz, as you rightly said, Gav, he's finding them pockets that Casemiro doesn't want any part of. Why are we not putting him in there against them? Do you know what I mean? Like, we have to build it around Florian Wirtz. And if noses get put out of joint, and by the way, I've said this as well before, my favourite Liverpool player the last few years is Alexis McAllister. I think he should be out of the team because I don't think he can play with Wirtz. I think he's too small, he's too slow. I think he's a good player, he's an excellent player, he's a player I love to watch, but I think we need more pace and more power in there, and I think we need Wirtz at the centre of the whole team. And until that happens, I think we're going to see this stodgy porridge type of football where we're 1 week we're this, 1 week we're that. 1 week Wirtz is going to be central, 1 week Wirtz is going to be left, 1 week Szoboszlai will be the 10, then Szoboszlai will be the 8, then Szoboszlai will be the 6, and then Szoboszlai will be the 2. That'll be in one game. Like, it's fucking madness what's happening because he doesn't want to upset some players, and it's just pick the players on the merit of who should be in that team and start from now, because whatever he's doing isn't working. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not working as it currently is. We're going, and people in the chat are saying, we're going with 5 up front in games. That's desperate. That's worked for him in the past. I don't look at that as the Brendan Rodgers throw shit at the wall and see what sticks at this moment in time, even though we're going through a fucking period of
okay, so what do you think the odds are in the next Champions League game or the next league game that we turn up and we end up with Florian Wirtz playing off the front man in a 4-2-3-1? What do you think the odds are?
1,000 to 1. It's not going to happen.
Do you not think so?
He shit the bed. He's done a Ten Hag on this. When Ten Hag went into Man United, he had this plan. They got horsed out in their first 2 games against Bournemouth and Brighton, and you reverted back to Brentford and Brighton. I think I bought one of them. Went back to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer way of playing football, and he lost his idea and he lost what he had to do. Arne Slot was clearly changing how Liverpool were playing this year, and it looks to me like he's after shitting the bed a bit and he's going back to the way it was. But it's not going back to the way it was because he's moving fellas all over the place. We've got right backs coming out of our ears, and Szoboszlai now is playing there for 20, 30 minutes a game. What the fuck is going on? Why are we buying Frimpong? Is Frimpong literally the Salah replacement or the Salah substitute? Because if he is, then he done more in his 10-minute cameo today than Salah has all season. Like, he's attacking players and getting crosses in. That'll do. But if that's what he is, like, is that what we bought? Because Bradley, to me, looks like he's probably not ready yet. He still gets a few dodgy bookings, but I'm happy to see him playing. But I don't want to see fucking Szoboszlai going to right back, even though I think he can do the job there. He should be in the middle. Like, we're putting fucking square pegs and round holes all over the place and trying to make it work. There's a lot of players in that team that are not warranting their inclusion. Some of them we can't do anything about because missing out on Mark Gahey and losing fucking Sergio Leone or whatever his name is to injury at the season is that killing us, because our centre backs and Virgil van Dijk as well, it's not just all on Konate, I think have been deplorable. I think the last few games, certainly Van Dijk has been fucking abysmal as being at the scene of a lot of crimes that we don't usually see with him. And I think we're just sort of trying to, we'll fix this and we'll fix that and that'll get us to here. There's no plan. Scrap it up. Come out and say, this is what we're going to be doing now. This is what, don't come out and say it. No one comes out and says it. But come out and show it that, look, this is what we're doing here. Right, Kanate and Van Dijk are our centre-backs because we've no other options. Gomez is there. I don't know why he doesn't get a game. Left back, right back, or centre back, because it's not like any of them positions are covering themselves in glory, and he's not getting a fucking sniff of them. But if you're going to go Kanate and you're going to go with Van Dijk and you're going to have fucking Kerkez on the left and Bradley or Frimpong on the right, well, then your midfield has to have runners and it has to have athleticism and it has to have an engine. So it can't be McAllister. So what bringing in players and we're putting other players in positions that's not fixing the team. It's not helping what's around them. I just think it's a bit scattery at the moment, but I think he can get it back. Time will tell. But I think he needs to start making some big decisions, some hard decisions that he doesn't want to make, but I think he has to make it.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm talking about Salah, I'm talking about McAllister.
Yeah.
And to an extent, I'm talking about Gakpo.
Yeah. And look, I think they're credible, like, arguments to have, to 100%, because if it's not working, if it's not working, why isn't it working? System wise, personnel wise, do we need to change stuff up? Salah again today was really quiet, and
really bad.
I haven't looked at the stats of how much he gets the ball, but just in the system wise, and we get away from this in a minute, but system wise, he has to. You see, when he starts, if he chops and changes, you see, I think there's a huge chance he goes back to 4-2-3-1. But I don't think, at the same time, I'm all for 4-2-3-1. I'm all for, Wirtz in the team. But what I'd love to see out of everything is keep the fucking ball. You don't have to fly forward. You don't have to. I watched Man City and Everton yesterday, right? And Man City flattered to deceive. But what I noticed about them was they kept the ball and kept the ball and kept the ball and kept the ball and went wide, came back. But then it was just like bang, a little burst, 20 seconds, bang, bang, bang. And they bar some poor finish from Savinho and Doku, they probably could have had a couple of goals. But then when they got up, they didn't go, right, fly at them again. They didn't. They went, no, we keep flying to them and we make this a mad game. These will just head fucking everything away and we'll have a problem. And they just done it in bursts. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think we need to do. And two things. Keep the fucking ball, right? And the quality will come through. And secondly, get into fucking shape out of the ball, off the ball. It's all over the place. Look, I'm genuinely looking at the midfielders and I'm going, are you meant to be the 10 instead of Wirtz? Are you meant to be part of this 3? Why, if you're the 10, why are these two miles away from each other? And, one's up here and one's down like 15 yards away from each other, vertically on the pitch, not widthwise, vertically on the pitch. I'm going, there's just so many holes. When you lose the ball, get in a line and go, right. And I know it sounds really simple, but the two of us are going to get in a line here and we're keeping that line. And then we'll make our move. But we're just opening things up, going, here, you pass that in there if you want, and you can have a run. And United didn't even take advantage of that. They opted for a longer ball an awful lot of the time. But I think
that's because we weren't winning any second balls whatsoever.
No, because the thing is, but if you look, if you have two defensive midfielders, right, or two deeper midfielders, don't call them defensive ones. If you have two deeper midfielders, if they stay together and move around the pitch together, when a ball plays up and Van Dijk or Kanate heads it up, if you have two lads there, one can go and challenge, and if it drops, the other fella's there to try win it. But if you're miles away from each other, one fella goes up and there's a big the challenge and there's 30 yards between the two of you, somebody's going to drop in, get in there before you. It's just natural. There's nothing you can do about it. And I watch when teams come out of the back with the ball, and I'm looking going, well, he's gone to press, and this fella's 30 yards behind him. This fella's 25 yards over this way. Liverpool were never like that. Never like that. Even under Klopp, when you played in the 3, even under Slot when he played the 3, it was always tight and compact. And if Szoboszlai went and helped out on the right, the two boys moved over. Constantly moved over, one a little bit deeper than the other maybe, to cut out a passing lane. But they weren't miles away from each other. And they are miles away from each other at the minute. So you can put whatever player you want in, but you have to pick a system and you have to keep the football. And they're doing neither of that. They're doing neither of that. They're not moving around the pitch as a team. They're moving around, and it's. I'm sure if you brought it up on a big screen and went stop it there, they're just miles away from each other in standard parts of the game, standard pieces of play. That's what it looks like to me. But Emma, I'll come to you because the first goal comes very early. There's a bit of controversy over it because Van Dijk goes up with Mbeumo and McAllister's in the middle. He gets a bang off. I think it might be Van Dijk. He actually gets the bang in the head off. It drops.
I thought it was Mbeumo, but
it was both of them.
Commentary was saying it's Van Dijk.
I think it was Van Dijk caught him in the back.
It was the point of Van Dijk's elbow, but he also gets a smack off.
Van Dijk smashes into Mbeumo, doesn't he? And then he just fucking hits McAllister.
Yeah. Now the ball breaks. McAllister's on the ground. Look, it's a definite head injury. The ball's played on. Ahmed plays that run, as we're saying there. Van Dijk doesn't even see Mbeumo. And Mbeumo, it's a good finish in fairness. A few people are saying about the Liverpool keeper, but he comes out, he finishes it well. But the controversy here is that when McAllister hits the ground, he's holding his head and he's lying on the ground. The rule is the rule is that you immediately blow up if you think there's a head injury. End of story. My argument is you play to the whistle anyway. I'm not going to use it as a massive excuse. But Liverpool in that instance aren't good. But Michael Oliver's looking straight at that. He sees the collision. He sees the player go down. He sees the player lying on the ground holding his head.
He actually turns and looks.
Yeah. It's poor from the referee, but it's also poor from Liverpool. I don't want to come across here that it should be just stopped. But Liverpool on the other side of it should defend it better and should track runners,
well, it's
etc.
an alien idea that a play gets stopped for a head injury. Is that like Liverpool just making excuses or us just making excuses?
No, the actual rule that was put up today is if there's a head injury and the referee sees a potential head injury, the game is stopped. End of story, regardless of where the ball is, regardless of what's going on. That's actually the rule. But Emma, it's poor from the referee, but it's poor from Liverpool at the same time. But one could cancel out the other, I suppose.
Yeah, I think Oliver probably shit the bed. I think he probably realised he should have stopped it and let it play. And in 9 times out of 10, they don't score and he gets away with it. And there's a loud of roaring and shouting. But you're right, it should have been stopped. But I think Virgil makes a half-assed attempt at the next challenge, so he lands. And Mbeumo's on his arse as much as McAllister is. Yeah. I don't know who it is the ball falls to, a United player. And Virgil kind of swings a half-hearted leg at it, as though he's thinking, sure, he's just going to stop it here, McAllister. And then it doesn't, and it keeps playing. And Mbeumo manages to get up off the ground and still get back and get a run on Virgil. Again, like I said earlier on, he does do this to pass the player on, but I don't think it's Mbeumo. Everybody's saying he's trying to pass Mbeumo on. I think it's Cunha that's coming across that he's passing on to Konate. But he just goes, look, it's a great goal. Like, do you know what I mean? He goes in behind him. Oh, yeah. Like if that was a Liverpool player, we'd be praising him. And can Mamardashvili do better? I don't like this thing. Oh, Alisson would have saved that. You don't know. Like, no. I mean, he's conceded goals like that before as well.
Exactly.
Does he spread it? He spreads himself. I just think it's a good finish. But again, we're sloppy and there's no intent. There's like a lack of concentration out of us. And of all people, Van Dijk and
should never pass a player on in that instant.
No,
when you can't see what's behind you, I don't know why you're passing players on.
Well, I think he sees Cunha, and that's why he's passing on, and he doesn't see him.
Answer me this: why is he passing on Cunha? Because the threat to him in his mind.
Because I think he was gonna, but I think he's gonna go and try and cut off.
But he doesn't do anything.
But he doesn't do anything. He's trotting. Yeah. Like he's not.
So if he points to Cunha to say, I don't know who he's fucking pointing to, because if Cunha's running in behind him, Konate is probably a step deeper. So, I'm sure people will tell you Konate shouldn't be there either. But if he's pointing onto Cunha, he doesn't know what's behind him, right? And if you're going to point, you better step out now. I'm passing you on, I'm stepping out to this guy. He doesn't. He points and just keeps running in the same direction. Yeah. So as a centre half, you have to say to yourself, listen, that guy has the ball. The threat is this guy running beside me. I don't know who's behind me. And the evidence is there because Mbeumo's there and he doesn't see him. You either step out and make the decision on going at this guy, or let him tread the ball and I'm going to cut it out. But he doesn't either.
Yeah. Well, I think if the ball is being played to Cunha, that's what he's thinking that he's trying to cut out, but it's actually played to Mbeumo. Look, either way, it's sloppy. He, like I said, Mbeumo's on his arse. Van Dijk is still on his feet. It's Mbeumo that gets ahead of Van Dijk and scores the goal. Like Keith said, he's been at the scene of a few crimes in the last couple of weeks. There's an arrogance about him as a defender, and that's, I suppose, we've raved about that in the past. That it's like, look at this, he's intimidating, he's not getting out of second gear.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you're not winning games, that's a bad thing.
But there's no problem with that. But I have no problem with Virgil van Dijk. I actually do. I have a problem with him pointing on something that he doesn't know what's there. But I have no problem with Virgil van Dijk if he points to say, there's a runner. Forget Mbeumo for a minute. There's a runner, right? Now I'm going to try and practice by doing something. But when you do nothing, you can't just point and go, there's a fella running there and I'll just stand here.
I don't think he thinks there's a pass on if he's passed Cunha onto Konate. He's not going to impact the ball because he doesn't he thinks this fella's going to have to shoot because everything else is covered, and then Mbeumo comes from behind him to receive a ball.
Mbeumo ain't no small fella. He's got an arse the size of Blake and Kim Kardashian, and he's trotting by him. Like, I don't know how he's not aware of him.
But on book says there, you don't pass someone on unless someone behind you tells you to. Virgil has no clue what is behind him. Yeah. But listen, if Virgil doesn't point and that happens, you kind of go, well, did someone fucking tell Virgil I had him? But he does. He genuinely points, and then I expected when he pointed for him to go, right, I've pointed that out, but I'm going to cut off this pass. I'm going to get into a position where it's going to have to be an unbelievable fucking pass to get around me. But it's not an unbelievable pass. It's just a fucking slide reel pass. Yeah. You know? Look, Keith, we go 1-0 down. The game, and straight away the game becomes frantic for me. And it was my worst nightmare because every time we play these, I stop making frantic and going back to keeping the ball, pass it fucking round and make them run around, and it gets a bit frantic. And Fernandes has that chance that he hits the outside of the post with. And do you know what? It was a good move by United. Ahmed's in the box. He's going to come in on his left hand side. I thought he'd done all right, just shepherding them there. Fernandes finds a bit of space and he probably should score. I think he goes that near side. He probably should whip it across the far side. But on the other side of it, like when Liverpool win a ball, just inside United's half, Salah, Gakpo inside hits the post. Gakpo hits the post again. Isak is put through, and I think the keeper does quite well to stand up and narrow his angles. I think Isak probably should have taken a touch, but there was signs there from Liverpool that when you stay in shape and you win the ball, you can get at this. Do you know what I mean? If you're patient, because the ball through to Isak, it's a patient one with Konate. He's waiting and waiting, then he sees a bang. He's not kind of rushing into midfield. There was signs there in Liverpool that if you're patient and if you win the ball in the right areas, we looked really threatening. It just, we keep hitting the fucking post. It was like watching Luis Suarez in 2011. Keith, that's being honest with you. So there was good signs there. It's not like we were completely atrocious in this game. There was good signs there at times to, like I said, patience and patience in the pass, and also winning the balls in the right areas, being set up to win the ball in the right areas.
Yeah, I mean, we had better chances than United, because even their chances, the Fernandes one, like that, they're saying I hit the post, it's going wide and it clips the outside of it skins the outside of the post. You know what I mean? It's not close as such. And I agree with you. He should be whipping that across. You'd expect him to score that because of the type of player he is, who strikes a ball well. You think that's his bread and butter, and he should score. They had the one that is Ahmad crosses Marmadashvili splats it out, and I think Mount backheels her over the bar, or one of them scoops her over the bar. He didn't create that much, but they had that early lead. Like, we missed a lot of chances today. We hit the post twice with Gakpo, and people go mad when I said Gakpo needs to come out of the team. Oh, you hit the post, big deal. He scored 2 goals, big deal. Missed a header today, by the way, that fucking Stevie Wonder would have been able to nip it into the bleeding side of the net, and Gakpo hits it 5 yards wide. We had chances that we should have took. Isak's chance, you expect your 120, 30 million pound striker to be banging them in, but I think he's just getting up to speed. Gakpo had chances. Salah hits one that drops on him perfectly. It goes with his left foot and hits it about 2 yards fucking wide. Like, some of the misses were outrageous. Some of the misses were the things that we lashed Darwin Núñez over for, and we're still doing them. We could have scored 6 goals today, realistically, and we didn't do ourselves any favours because we missed easy chances. Now, I'm not saying the Gakpo ones off the post were easy chances, but I'm saying we had good chances and enough chances to win that game, and we didn't take them. We weren't clinical enough. We're not ruthless enough, and that's a worry. You know, like, we need to start scoring goals from our front men because, all right, Gakpo's chipping in with the odd goal, but he is so predictable what he is doing. Salah is so predictable what he is doing. They are easy to defend. Do you know what I mean? They're easy to defend here at the moment, and it's frustrating. We created enough chances. I don't think they created an awful lot of clear chances. As we said, I think the goal, whilst a good finish by Mbeumo, was down to us, was down to Van Dijk, in my opinion. I don't put any blame on the keeper whatsoever. That Michael Owen was trying to do on the thing I was watching, and people have suggested a keeper comes out and tries to make himself big on a true ball like that, gets smashed. But I've seen Alisson concede fucking loads of them. I've seen Oblak concede loads of them. I've seen Neuer concede loads of them. Like, keepers concede goals. It was a good finish. It's a good goal for them. Can't criticise the keeper on that at all. But we give them the second goal as well. We'll come on to that in a while. But like, it's all gifts. You know what I mean? We're not clinical at one end, and we're giving away fucking gifts at the other end. So we're creating. As we said about Wirtz. Wirtz is creating a lot of chances, but we're not fucking finishing them. We're not taking the chances. And we're getting punished. Well, we're getting punished for this profligacy in front of goal. And then we're getting punished for the lackadaisicalness at the other end. Like, so it's all over the place. It's fucking an endemic. It's not one thing, it's everything.
It's when I always look at when it comes to finishing, I think the one Gakpo hits the post the first time, it's a good run from it's a good first touch inside, and people are saying, could he have brought it closer to the goal? I think what he's worried about there is if he takes another touch, a cover in centre half might come across and crowd him out or get a block on it. I think he does well. He comes inside and he hits it early, and you know, couple of inches the other way, and it's in. You know,
it's a lovely touch for him to.
It's a great touch, yeah.
No, it is
very similar to the goal in the 7-0. He
Yeah.
actually traps it and takes the ball away from the centre half.
Yeah, and the one, like, he's on the left end and he chips one over and hits the post, right, fair enough. And then the one the second half, he comes inside and it's a great strike again and hits the post. You know, the sort of way. Some of the finishing though, I always look for, and I think a confident team. A comfortable team in their own skin probably takes some more chance. That Isaac one kind of stood out for me because it's the first sight he gets. It's a great run he makes. It's a great ball. He tears past the centre back. And maybe he's thinking if I take a touch, I'm slowing down the centre half, probably gets a touch on it or gets a tackle in. But I honestly think Isaac, you can say if he's fit or not, I think he's probably up to match fitness now. He's played a couple of internationals. But I think a confident Isaac in a team that's comfortable in themselves probably does slot that. I think he snatches a little bit. For me, he's hitting that probably a half a second early. I think he should probably be taking another step to then see exactly where the goalkeeper is. And you know, a bit like what strikers tell you, everything goes into slow motion when you're a good striker. Everyone's fucking buzzing around, but you're in slow motion. You're seeing every little movement before you do it. And I think that's what can come across Liverpool at times, like the Gakpo header at the end. You know, any other day of the week, Liverpool in a winning team, he just heads that back across the goal into the net, and we all go, "Yeah, great goal." You know, the sort of way. And I think that's what's coming across a little bit to me in the finishing. That it's a little bit hurried, and it's a little bit, you know. I have to. It's a bit like when like one of you mentioned earlier about when we had Fabinho and Henderson around the last legs, and it was like, we better fucking score here because these boys are all over the shop going the other way. And I'm not saying we're all over the shop, but there is a bit of we're a bit fucking ropey here, so this feels much bigger of a chance than it usually would. You know, the sort of way. But my thing is, when we go 1-0 down, we should have just kept playing our game. Keep playing your game. Don't let that get to you. Play your game. Play at the pace you want. Make them run around. Again, get yourself into nice positions and then look to hurt them. We became a bit hurried. And as the first half went on, I thought it was a bit bleeding. It was a bit mad very early in the game. Like before half time, I felt a bit mad. you know, sort of way. But Emma, we come out in the second half and we make them couple of changes around 62-ish, isn't it? We make the couple of changes. And it's a bit Alamo stuff, let's be honest. It is a bit Alamo stuff. Because, like, we're putting on 5 forwards on the pitch on 62 minutes, and it's a bit like, fuck it, let's go for it now. But we looked better because there was intent to what we were doing. It was like, this is our intent and this is what we're going to do. And, you know, Daffy Osmond's there, I think it's a Chelsea fan. It's a slow pace play sideways. You know, I'm okay with playing it sideways and moving it around once you're looking to do something at the end of it. Once you're looking to do something at the end of it. But it was a bit of a mad show then from there on in. But Liverpool looked better for it. They did.
Yeah, it's like I said, there was more intensity about us. Jones was picking up the ball and he was running at them. They were backing off. We were finding space out wide. Kirk has the shackles were a little bit off him. I think somebody said that earlier on in the chat that he's probably a better wing back than he is fullback. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Like when he was getting forward, he was hurting them. There was actually 3 of them out on the left hand side, probably too close together at one stage. But that's where the joy was coming from. But we there was a confidence about us. We were moving it around that little bit quicker. We were, and come here, coincides with Wirtz being on the pitch. Like, do you know what I mean? He constantly wanted it. He's popping up everywhere. He was over on the right. He was over on the left. And he's playing it across. But there's little 1-2s going on between him. Even when Szoboszlai was in right back, the way we played our defence there, little triangle passes, and we were getting forward. United didn't know what to fucking do. But like, we need to capitalise on that. I think we've, and I know you don't like this. Well, I won't use the phrase, but we're creating enough chances in these last 4 games that if we took some of those chances, we don't lose any of them. Yeah. So it's not. I don't think there's an issue with the creating of the chances. It's the actual taking of the chances. So it's the taking of the chances at one end, and it's the giving up of the chances at the other end. If we can fix that, and like, I know that it's very easy to say that, but it isn't that. It's not that hard of a thing to do. We need to be playing at a certain pace. I know what you're saying, Gav, that it's like slow, and then fast. But we've never really played like that. Do you know what I mean? It needs to be fast.
You see, we have, because at the start of last season, we seen it loads where Liverpool
and he abandoned it.
Game. We go out and play a game, and we control the ball, and we move it around, and we look. And I've stood in Anfield at this. I went, right, we have to get used to this. We are used to get it to the fullbacks, go forward.
But he abandoned that.
Yeah, but the thing was, we did play like that. And then when they had a sniff of a chance, we take the ball back off them and not give it back to them. 3 and 4 minutes, just keeping the ball and making them run around.
We moved it a hell of a lot quicker. We're moving it way too slow now.
Yeah.
Way too slow. It needs to be quick. I'm not there. We can do that, but like, it can't be the pace that we're doing it at the moment. It's far too slow. And then when we turn the ball over or there's a bad pass, you're going from being in this kind of a second gear to having to get into a third, fourth, fifth gear to try and get back and defend. And you mentioned that Fernandes chance. He should have 100% scored. And the one thing that I've seen, and last season as well, you'll notice that everybody was blaming Trent, and maybe it was up to him, but we conceded an awful lot of goals where they went down the left-hand side, they pulled it back, and there was somebody standing in the middle, identical to Fernandes today. And what we're doing is it's like, I'm conscious of going in too fucking footed on the team here, but it's under 9 stuff. They're all ball watching for Fernandes' chance, and then for the winner for United. They have this thing, and I think it's too much in their psyche that this might break or this might drop somewhere and we can attack and attack. They're all drawn towards the ball. Like you're saying, yes, they brought Ahmad down the right-hand side and they forced him back in and whatever. But there was about 4 of them watching him and the ball, including 2 midfielders, and nobody watching. And by the way, if Fernandes didn't get a strike on it, there was someone standing behind him and they could have easily got a strike on it. And that happened way too much last season. It happened for the goal as well. When Fernandes puts the ball back into the box, we're all pushing out and towards the ball. And they're leaving 3 absolute monsters at the back post. It's schoolboy stuff. It's like, it's ball watching and being attracted to the ball. I get that they're conscious, they want to win it back and they want to get forward and stuff like that. But Jesus, don't abandon the basics.
Yeah.
And I think it's just we're abandoning the basics a little bit too often.
When we got the goal, Keith, it comes from Ekatike and Wirtz causing a bit of confusion. It gets to Chiesa, it's a good ball across. Gakpo tries his best to miss it, to be fair. But he scores, and I put it in the WhatsApp group immediately. I went, now, do not fucking go off like mental, go mad here, and let these sucker punch you. I actually put it immediately into our WhatsApp group, and I literally watched the rest of the game going, this is exactly what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And you know what? The goal itself, Keith, you know, people are saying, could the keeper come from it? The ball, it's a long way to come. It's a long way to come. I think the keeper is probably looking, going, there has to be enough fellas here to deal with a loop and kind of ball. And to be fair, Maguire scores because the ball's looped in and he's loads of time to let it actually drop down where he can just stand there and head it into the goal. He doesn't have to jump. He doesn't do any. I think if anyone gets close to him, he probably doesn't score because he put him off enough. But like Emmett says, the ball comes in, it gets booted out, and then I have to give credit to Fernandes because it would have been very easy at that stage of the game to take it down, play it back to whoever was back for United, look to maybe switch it or put a diagonal in or whatever it might be, keep the ball. But I think he's clever because when it drops, he just caresses this thing across the box and puts it into a dangerous area when you're probably expecting to take it down. But when the ball goes in, Keith, you're going, where is everybody gone? Because those three lads were being marked at the corner, right?
Yeah.
So where are the boys that are meant to be marking? I think Emmett's spot on. I think they're thinking, if he takes a rash touch here, someone will get on it and we're away. And if you remember back to the Palace game, Slot has a go off Frimpong because he actually thinks Frimpong should be defending rather than seeing will this ball break and we can move away. It was just an infuriating goal to concede, Keith. You know, just do your job. If it comes in and goes back out, stay there. Ball comes in, you win a header, we hook it clear, and everyone moves out. You do your job. That's people not doing their job, Keith.
It's people not doing their job. And look, yeah, I think you're right. It's very good by Fernandes. Very good. Because, you could have snatched it. You could have tried to get it down and tried to whip it in or whatever. And he just gets it in quick. And again, team of it catches us dopey. And they score. As you say, Maguire just has to get his head on it. Size of his head. Just has to get it on that, boom, and plant it in. I don't put blame on the keeper. I think a lot of people are blaming the keeper because he's an easy target. He's a new player in. There's no affiliation. There's no love for him. Do you know what I mean? Like it
was a striker's header. Everything. Down low and back where it came from. That's what they teach you to do.
A free head.
Now we had all day to decide that that's what he's going to do.
So where's the defense? You know what I mean? Where are the defenders? Like, we're not in a position where I sort of get the quick break and the counter from the set play or whatever. But we're not in a place at the moment where we can sort of give up the defensive side of it. You know, we're not playing in any way, shape or form this season like a team that can say, look, yeah, we're going to commit and we're going to go forward. And as you say, Slot's already pulled up Frimpong for doing it. We need to defend first, and we need our defenders to defend first. And look, we brought in Milos Kerkez, and I agree, he's a much better attacking wing-back, full-back than he is an orthodox full-back where he has to slot into centre-back. If that's what we want there with him, write him off now because he cannot do it. He's not that type of player. So he's always going to be looking to go. Frimpong is a winger / full-back, wing-back type character as well. He's always going to go. So we need discipline in our centre-mids to be helping out our centre-backs.
This is what I could say. Our
centre-backs didn't have the discipline. Never mind the centre-mids.
Close together.
Yeah, but our centre-backs didn't have the discipline here. Like, the centre-backs are nowhere to be seen.
Unless, going back to the keeper, right? Should the keeper come? I think, right, if that ball's dropping Fernandes and someone makes the call, everyone out, right? And you clear out completely, right? And that ball goes back in and Maguire and two of the lads are standing there offside. You go, do you know what? Fair play. But you don't half go. You don't all just wander out. They all just wandered out like somehow fucking Dawn of the Dead. You just wandered out. It's like fucking 28 days later. And you're looking going, you either go or you don't. So if you don't, when that ball comes out to Fernandes, everyone that you're marking, you should be looking around going, there's that cunt I was marking. There's Harry Maguire. There's fucking whoever. He's who I'm staying on him. And honestly, It doesn't matter whether it's Kirkes or fucking Peter Crouch marking him at the back post. If that ball's looped in and you're standing near him, you have enough physically to pull him off and he gets a header on goal. But he doesn't have time to let that ball drop down where he doesn't jump. He just fucking stands there and heads it in.
Lets it hit his head.
Yeah.
Like, and guides it into the
Picks his spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
the sort of thing you'd say, you know, you're playing with your kid or whatever, and you're just throwing it up yourself, standing and heading it past them. You know what I mean? Like, it's uncontested. It's so easy and it's so poor.
It's what you say there, Gav, is we're only half getting out.
Yeah.
But we're also only half pressing a lot of the time as well.
But this is going back, if you go back to Galatasaray and the penalty they get, we're on the attack, we should score. And the ball drops out to a Galatasaray player and Gravenberch looks at him, runs towards him and stops. Right? They play it around them. Wirtz is screaming at them going, the fella over here. And they play a pass and they're out and they're gone. And your man, Yilmaz, I think it is, down the left-hand side gets a run on Szoboszlai. You can call it unfortunate or not. But this all comes from the edge of Galatasaray's box. And one player in Gravenberch going and deciding to stop because he thinks, Kirkes might do it. Right? And then you look at the positions of the other two boys. You had McAllister in the midfield that night. And you had... who else was in the midfield with them? They were miles off each other. They were fucking miles off each other. And bang, bang, and they're gone. Because if Gravenberch goes all in there and goes, I'm fucking going after this fella, they don't get out. But the same defensively there today, when that ball originally comes out, you either stand your ground, pick your man and go, right. And listen, if a ball is whipped in and Maguire happens to get a flick on a header against Van Dijk, good header, goal, right, fair enough, you give him credit. It's a good header. But to stand around and all our players, like, freeze frame it when the ball comes in, who's standing beside Maguire and the two other boys at the back post. And when Bruno Fernandes makes contact with her, where are they in relation to them players? They're your man. Yeah. The situation isn't over yet. Because it's gone out of the box, it's not like, well, right, let's all start again. No, the situation hasn't ended. The situation only ends when that ball goes in the box. Maguire gets a tame header because someone's challenging him, or we get a header away, or we hook her up the pitch, and then you all fall into position and go, right, this is where we are. But that to me is just a panic in us at the minute on both ends of the pitch. And the way we're set up and who's meant to be doing what. And it doesn't feel like it's right at the moment. It's not, because you can see it.
Absolutely.
But it's not a million miles off either, I don't think.
I'm not saying it was completely atrocious today. I thought there was really good patches in the game where I thought we did move the ball quicker. We looked, and dare I say it, I thought when Wirtz came on, they looked panicked because he was finding spots. And I'm not saying the ball always went to him, but they were constantly looking around going, where's this little bollocks? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it doesn't have to always go to Wirtz. I'm banging this fucking drum since the start. It doesn't always have to go to him. But when you have a player there that, you know, he's in this spot, fuck, I have to go and watch him, and you're nearly trying to man mark him. So now you're taking one of their men out, and you can drag him wherever the fuck you like. Walk around the pitch room. It doesn't matter. When you do that, it leads to, they're not as cohesive as they want to be. They're probably dropping a bit deeper. They're leaving more gaps. They're overcommitting to Wirtz, so let's go and do that. Doesn't have to get to him. But having him on the pitch and the type of player he is changes United's outlook on this. And that's what it done. That's how the goal comes. Ekitike goes in the box. Who gets it? Wirtz. They try to crowd him out. He gets it to Chiesa. Chiesa does it really well. But there was a bit of quick movement. Wirtz doesn't have a massive play in that. But because he's there, players are like, fuck, where is he? You know what I mean?
But he's always in them positions. He's always in them pockets that he can pick them little balls up and you know, tread them here and there. And it is a threat. And having Wirtz on and having Chiesa on and having Ekitike on, we saw much more attacking sort of trust with a bit more purpose than Salah, than Isak, than even Gakpo. And people get annoyed if we say Gakpo because he scored a goal and hit the post a few times. But I just felt that there was much more unpredictability with them players than there is with the others. And I think we just look better. Even Frimpong comes on and puts in a couple of good crosses, beats his man, gets to the line, gets crosses in. Something that we weren't doing. No, we don't want to be bleeding hoofing crosses in. I hate when we do that, but just getting balls across the box.
There was a few floaty ones thrown in there today. And they've three monsters at the back. Like, what the fuck?
But the Gakpo header, like, that's a floaty when he's in acres of space and misses it, you know. So we were
there was a bit of whip on that ball in front thing. I'm talking about Salah going to the edge of the box and then just float, like literally
Little
floating
hangers,
towards the back post. That's bread and butter to those big defenders.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think when Salah does that,
absolutely.
I think it has to be really precise. Yeah, it has to be really precise because Salah's doing
For
that
something
years.
like that, you want to be
Yeah, but you have to
half
know.
shooting. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but
It's
Salah's doing that years, lads, and so many goals have come from it where he does. But it's more precision than whipping that into that corridor of uncertainty that people talk about. If you think back to Man City in the Champions League quarter final, we win 3-0 at Anfield, and the third goal comes from Salah getting the ball like that, and he drifts one in the back post, and Mane scores. Do you know what I mean? So he does do it an awful lot, but it's precision. It has because
but there was probably two defenders in the box then. Salah's doing that. Well, they've a box load of players.
Yeah, I understand that. But what he's trying to do there, and I'm not listen. Yeah. If I'm Salah, I'd rather Salah literally went out on the right and smashed him with his right foot low along the ground at times. Do you know what I mean? But I think I know what he's trying to do. It's not coming off. But there you go. Where to from now? From here? It's not good. But like I said, like there is. I think we could have come away there with a. Honestly, we could have come away with a 3-2 win there today. 4-2. It could have been fucking 5-3. It could have been anything, But we didn't take our chances, and like I said at the very, very beginning, we were naive in what we done defensively at times. But I asked this, I think, last week or the week before, whatever it might have been, and I'll ask it again. Keith, we have Frankfurt during the week, Brentford away at the weekend, I think, if I remember rightly. What does he do here? Tactically, formation-wise, I know what I'd like him to do. I'll go last, but
what do you want to saying what I'd like him to do or what I think he'll do?
Well,
because they're not the same answer.
No, well, forget what you think he will do. What would you like to see him do?
I'd like to see the team getting shaken up a bit and players that are not performing being dropped and just trying to try something new. I think you put faith in the players that you brought in, and that includes Kerkez and that includes Frimpong. You bring these guys in, you play them. Maybe not all, I can sort of understand why one fullback plays and the other one isn't, but I would be looking to say we brought these lads in, we're going to play them and we're going to just play to their strengths. And if, again, I'm not saying Joe Gomez is the saviour by any stretch of the imagination, but if Joe Gomez can be a more reliable left back than Milos Kerkez in games, let's use Joe Gomez. If not, Andy Robertson, I don't think has it anymore. People, I love Robbo, but Robbo doesn't have it anymore. So if he's not the answer, then you just have to go with Kerkez, and you have to get them bedded in as quickly as possible. Like Kerkez, Frimpong, Wirtz, Isak, Ekatike. We brought two centre forwards. One is looking better than the other. The other one is starting at the moment. I've not majorly an issue with that, but I would like to see maybe Ekatike start more than Isak. Isak starting all the time and we're not getting anything out of him. I just think there's players in the team that shouldn't be in the team. Again, no problem fucking them under the bus. McAllister, one of my favourite players. Salah, one of our greatest ever players. I'd have Gakpo, wouldn't be guaranteed a place. I would be shaking it up. I'd be giving players until I found a system. I wouldn't be putting, changing Dominic Szoboszlai in 4 positions in every game. Playing a fucking position. If we need you to do something, we know you can do it. But it's so predictable now that Conor Bradley starts at right back every week, gets booked or gets to 60 minutes if he doesn't get booked, and then he gets the curly finger, comes off, Szoboszlai gets put back into right back. Do you know what I mean? It's not cohesive at the moment, and I just think we have to say, right, this is the new Liverpool and we have to just fucking play it. And Salah isn't, if you're not playing well, you're not getting till 80 minutes or whatever till you get hooked, which even surprised me that he got whipped today. If you're not performing, you're not in. If you're having a stinker, you're out of the team. I said it earlier, I'd be giving the keys of the team to Florian Wirtz and building around him, but it's not going to happen. We're going to be in for a lot more pain, put it that way. I think we're going to suffer. And it's all, people are in the chat talking about slot this, slot that. I think we have to give Slot time. Like, I'm not one of these kick him out, but I don't think it's going to be fixed. I think we're going to be in a shit show for the next few weeks.
Emma,
Nice
what are you doing?
positive, Keith, yeah.
I'm usually positive, but I just can't stay in this.
He's listening to all this fucking downer music at the moment. That's all
I would go back to his 4-2-3-1, and will I give you a team? Well, no. If I'm playing Salah as part of the three, well, then I'm playing Bradley as the defender because he doesn't get forward as much, which means Salah is all right to cheat a little bit. I would possibly play, obviously, Mamardashvili in goal.
He's definitely doing the team here, isn't he?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. If Frimpong is playing,
and then he just proceeds to name a team.
If Frimpong is playing, I'm playing Robbo on the far side. I don't think we can play both Kerkez and Frimpong.
Completely disagree.
Leaves us way too open.
Go on.
I just think it leaves us way too open. I would play Konate, Van Dijk, and say Robbo, let's say, against Frankfurt. And then I would have, if Gravenberch is fit, I don't think he's probably going to play against Frankfurt. But let's say if we fast forward to next weekend, I'd probably have Gravenberch and Jones as the two. And then I would have Gakpo, Wirtz, and Szoboszlai instead of Salah with Ekitike or Isak up front. I think we've seen today as well that Ekitike can do actually okay off the left. So I'd do a little bit of rotating with him, with Gakpo as well.
Okay.
But that's what I would do. I think Jones needs a shot. I know he came in for the Southampton game, and I don't think he had his best game, but he has impacted games, big games as well. I thought he did okay today, impacted the Arsenal game, but I think he deserves his little shot in the midfield because I think he's probably the best for ball retention in midfield. Mm-hmm. Him probably and Gravenberch. So give him a go in there. Sit Alexis on the bench for a while. That's what I would do.
Okay.
I also don't think Wirtz and McAllister can play together.
Okay. I'm not going to go too much into personnel, because I have no issue with Liverpool are playing and then after 60 are switching their fullbacks and stuff like that. I have no issue with it. If you were to push me on it, I want to see Frimpong and Kerkez playing. I want to see both of them playing. And what I'd love to see from Liverpool now is that, one, when you don't have the ball, you're either going to press or you're going to get into shape. Two options, pick one. Fucking do get into shape for a whole game or press like fuck. Pick one. I don't give a fuck, right? The other thing is, to get the best out of your, whether it's Gakpo or Ekitike, whoever you want to put down the left and Salah down the right, you need to give these fullbacks more freedom. You just have to. Because I don't think they've been given enough. I think you've seen from Frimpong when he comes on a bit more advanced. He just breezes by your man today and puts a brilliant cross in, and Gakpo should score. Wirtz has to play. He just has to play. You don't sign a player for that amount of money and tell him you're going to do something, and which he clearly has. He's had to have told him, we want to do this, we want to do that. I think Wirtz has to play. And then I think the two behind them, whoever it is, they need to become a two-man unit. They can't be, I'm half in a 4-2-3-1, I'm in a 4-3-3, am I doing this? What I want to see from Liverpool is I want to see Liverpool have two centre-backs and two centre midfielders that are working as a box, right? That's your box. They're your protective four. That's it, right? And people will go, fuck off, I'm not saying the other team players don't have to do fuck all, but what I mean is we have to be really solid in that four. Them two centre halves know where them two midfielders are all fucking times. That's the hub. That's the communication hub of the whole team, right? With the fullbacks, I think with Kerkez and with Frimpong in particular, they have the mobility to go up and down the pitch, right? They have the speed, they have the engines to, help their men in the wide positions, but also come back in and cover, right? And then you play Wirtz. And what you do is, when you have the ball, you have to be brave in not always getting it to him, but if he's in space, give him the fucking ball, right? And if he loses it, that box of four are there. Them two fullbacks can come back. But what I think we're doing at the minute is we're so disjointed in, do I go, do I not, right? I think our wide men are being they're being exposed to just being on their own. Right, there's nothing happening around them. I think Salah needs Wirtz. I think Gakpo needs him. I think the fullbacks need him. I think the midfielders need him. They need that outball. And that's what I would love to see from Liverpool. And listen, I could be completely wrong. Right? I've been wrong on loads of stuff. But for me, this team is made for the two lads in midfield to go, right, we're going nowhere. We're going to retain the ball. We're going to get it. Them fullbacks are going to push up. We're going to push teams back. We'll make room for Wirtz. We'll make room for Salah. We'll make room for Gakpo. We'll make room for even Gravenberch moving with it. But honest to God, watching this team at the minute, to me, it's an awful lot of players that are looking going, do I not? Do I don't I? Do I don't I? We need a definite way of playing. And listen, we could go out against Frankfurt and play like that, and we're buzzing, and we miss a load of chances, right? And we draw the game, or we lose the game. I'd be more happy. Well, I'm not happy to lose a game, but I'd be more happy to go, do you know what? There was something there that you could see that they were doing. And they were unfortunate here and they were unfortunate there. And they were a bit unfortunate today, but they were naive today.
Control again.
Yeah, I think I just, when I look at it, I've said it so many times, they're made to keep the ball and burst through you, or they're made to get into shape and kill you. And I don't think they're made for anything else at the minute, especially when you play a 10. It's so hard to make a game, fucking mad game of tennis with a dedicated number 10. It's just hard because them three in midfield, when you're playing that three, have to be up and down and left and right, and it has to be a unit, cohesive. And you can be cohesive in it too once your centre halves are right, and once your fullbacks know that when they go, they have to get fucking back. And we spoke about it at the start of the season. You know, these players can get up and back, and that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see them fullbacks being given a bit more where they go, you know what, push up there a bit. Push up there a little. And you know what, let Salah and Gakpo get a little bit narrower near centre-backs and dragging fullbacks out of the way. And that's what I'd like to see in Liverpool. I don't know if it'll happen, but
Trent and Robbo were never orthodox fullbacks, so our successful years under Klopp were built on having attacking players, both different players, don't get me wrong, but, you know, we spoke, you've said it as well, Gav, the work Jordan Henderson used to do as a midfielder to cover when the players were going up for, especially Trent, was, you know, the stuff you didn't see. So we need players to be doing that. There's no reason why we can't play Frimpong and Kirkes. We just need to have a plan in place that we're not getting caught cold. We're not getting two lads getting stung at the back with no protection when they do go forward. So it has to be the midfield have to sit in. You're right, maybe the box, two centre-backs, two centre-mids in front of them. It's not reinventing the wheel. We can simply put in players that are good players and play if we have a cohesive plan. If we have an idea of how we want to play.
The ball has to stick.
Yeah, but if you do that box and you're cohesive, like you say, and your fullbacks are kind of this hybrid kind of thing where they'll come in and defend, and listen, we'll end up with four at the back. But if you have those two in midfield that sit and are together as one, you start intimidating teams. And you start saying to yourselves, we're not winning anything. These two are right knitted together and they fucking get all over you together as a two. And fuck, if we push up, they're going to win it there. When Liverpool win more ball off second balls, we win football games. It's like any team. And we're not winning enough off them because they're too far apart. They're just too far apart in those second balls, and when teams break out, way too far apart. I'd much prefer them two boys to go, fuck, these are breaking. We're going to retreat. Let's retreat onto the top of our centre halves here, and then let them make the decision. But we seem to be trying to be too proactive in what we're doing, and we're leaving gaps. But look, it's not. People are saying, you know, how long do you give it, and how long do you do this stuff? You give it as long as it takes. No, you give it as long as it takes.
Yeah. Fella won the league in his first year. I'm not.
Yeah, well, to be honest, and people tell you it's Klopp's squad and stuff like that. Klopp didn't win a league with that squad.
Yeah.
He didn't. True. So, you know, and that's not against him. I'm just putting their argument forward.
And it was changes that Slot had made to that squad that elevated some of the players that got us to the title. You know what I mean? So it's not like he just went in and says, "Oh, Gravenberch, you do what you are doing under Jurgen." And do you know what I mean? Like Trent came out and said that he improved him. You know, so you give credit where credit is due.
We were all expecting this season, last season.
Yeah,
for being honest.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
My thing on it is that, and I said at the start of the season, whatever comes this season comes, and that's my outlook. Has been from the start of the season, and it will be till the end of the season. You know, people are saying, are they out of the league title race? No, not now. Not right now. They're 4 points off the lead. It should be less than that, admittedly. But yeah, we're hitting a bad patch. And by all means, go and fucking criticise, never go. But at the end of the day, we're all going to turn up now. We're all going to turn up during the week and support Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? And everyone wants them to fucking get better. And I'd love to see them get better. I just think they need to. Overall, he needs to pick a plan. He needs to stick with it. And I don't really give a bollocks. Like, if he doesn't want to play Wirtz, play someone else in a dedicated 10. That's my only thing. You know what I mean? If you're gonna buy fullbacks and switch them on 60, well then just decide, right, Szoboszlai is my number 10 and he's gonna come on 60. Or someone else is my other left winger, he's gonna come on 60. Just have it in place where this is what we're going to do. And the personnel, you can argue over it, but we're going to change things on 60 or 50 or 70 or whatever it might be. We're going to stick to our guns. Because I actually think people will think, if you do that, you become predictable and people will know you. You don't. You just get better at what you're doing. And Liverpool, when they won the league last year, they were just really good at what they done. And when they won it in 2019-20, they were just really fucking good at what... You know what they were going to do, but you couldn't stop it because they were fucking brilliant at it. And that's where you need to get back to. That's what I think. I think we just need to get back to being really good at what we do. And the only way you can do that is, doing it over and over again. So that's where we are. Anyway, we've done way too much there. Fucking, what are we at?
Yeah, I only wanted to do about 15 bleeding
We were meant to finish an hour ago. Emma, anything else before we go?
No, all good. Just, do you know what? It's probably not the best thing to use. I was listening to an interview. I don't even know what the chap's name is, and it's only because Owen mentioned NFL there earlier on. Before the Jets played in London there, I think it was 2 weeks ago, they were talking to the Jets manager, and he said they were 5-0 at the time, and he says, to learn to win, you first have to learn how to not lose. I just thought that was a really good quote. Now, the Jets are now 0-7, so probably not the best quote to listen to.
Yeah. Nice quote.
It was a good quote.
It sounded great at the time.
I thought I'm going to use that on the podcast eventually when Liverpool don't lose.
Didn't get the desired result for him, but a lovely soundbite. I love it.
Yeah.
Keith, anything else before we go?
No, look, we're all at the bleeding end of our tethers here at the moment, but it's not going to last. It'll get better, and we just have to go through a mountain of shite like your man in the Shawshank Redemption crawling out of the fucking tunnel. This is what we're going to have to go through. But look, be big boys about it. Don't be throwing the toys out of the pram, and don't be throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and just hope that the manager that's done so well up to now can turn these things around. But yeah, look, Poxy, to lose to them, absolute muck savages, was a killer. But look, they won the game. Congratulations to them. I look forward to the parade. But we will be back. And when the players do kick in, we will be better. But it's going to be a tough one. I'm over for the Villa game. Fucking dreading it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're doing some fucking. I pulled out. You're doing some trick for that. That's
unbelievable. Stop. Yeah,
I'm looking for two together for PSV. If anyone is completely pissed out with Liverpool and wants to hand them
get to behind the dugout.
You laugh. That will happen.
I could do another 2 or 3 defeats on the bounce here, and the thing would be pouring. Only messing. Jesus Christ, for all people take it seriously.
Yeah, that'd be clipped.
That has been the Sunday Night Cop from myself, Gav, Emma, and Keith. Sponsored by NordVPN. The link is in the description. You know all that from now. Our Patreon is also there. Loads of people have joined that and seem to be enjoying it. And tomorrow, we'll be looking back over this game, the highlights of it, and going through it. We'll also have a Ref Watch show, either tomorrow or Tuesday as well, where we just look at all the bad decisions he made and give them a load of abuse. So that's on our Patreon.
Can we mention one more bad thing that Oliver did today? And I'm not blaming him for the defeat.
Right.
A keeper cannot catch the ball, drop it, and then pick it back up again. That's an indirect free kick. It's fucking like he completely forgot that he was refereeing a football match today.
Yeah.
Fucking joke.
Yeah. Don't get me started on the PGMOL and all the lads. We'll be here till fucking 11:30 next Sunday. Really, we will. Yeah. But if you're interested in joining our Patreon, the link is in the description there as well. People are enjoying it, and there'll be plenty of shows throughout the week there, as well as on our YouTube, so you can like, subscribe, and comment there as well. Thanks to Keith, thanks to Emma. I've been Gav. We're out. Good luck. Over and out. Good luck. It'll only get better. It really will. Bring on Frankfurt
Good luck.
and
Bye.
Brentford.
Bye.
All them
Bye.
tall lads. Bring them all on. See you in a bit.
Yeah.